Greetings from Las Vegas, everybody. This is Andy Isco with our weekly recap of the Las Vegas, Nevada football handicapping contest. We're going to recap week 17, get you set for week 18, the final week of the regular season, and the final week for the contest with much to be decided, including the Circa Survivor with a record $9,267,000 winner take all prize at stake. We'll get to that a little bit later, but we're going to start first with the one contest that combines college and pro football. That's the Golden Nugget Ultimate Football Challenge. Contestants make 7 selections per week against a static point spread. And of course, this past week, we had a lot of bowl games that were included in the contest in addition to week 17 of the NFL. They've made 119 of 126 ultimate picks that will be concluded this coming week. There are 2 co-leaders at 72, 43, and 4. The second leader, 71, 42, and 6. You get 1 point for a win, half a point for a push, no points for a point spread loss. So that works out to 74 of 119 possible points, or a winning percentage of 62.2%. And as I have remarked throughout the season, this is historically low as far as what it takes to win the Golden Nugget contest, simply because of the fact that, A, there are many college football specialists playing in really what is the only major college football contest. It does combine the NFL, but with more selections to choose from, roughly 65 to 70 selections per week, or games per week to choose from during the meat of the season. A lot of college experts concentrate on those games. So usually the percentage is somewhere in the mid to high 60s. That's not going to be the case this year. Those 2 co-leaders, however, do have a 2-point lead over one contestant currently in third place. Of the 153 entries in this year's field, 4 of them are hitting at 60% or more, which is just another indication of how difficult the season has been when you consider the preponderance of the college selections in addition to the NFL. And that would require, of the 119 possible, 71.5 or more points. Just 2.6% of the field, or basically 1 out of every 25 or so contestants having that sort of success rate. Taking a look right now, the top 20 and ties get paid in this contest. Currently, if you're hitting 56.3% or better, that's 67 of the 119, you would be in position to collect at the end of the season. Turning now to the 2 major properties, each sponsoring 2 contests. That's the Las Vegas Super Contest and Super Contest Gold by the Westgate Las Vegas, and then the Circa Race and Sportsbook sponsoring their Circa Millions and Circa Survivor. We turn first to the Super Contest Gold. That's a contest with a $5,000 entry fee. There were 92 entries submitted this season. It's a winner take all. There won't be any tiebreak, as much as could be the case in Circa Survivor, which we'll talk about soon. $460,000 awaits the winner of the Super Contest Gold. Now, what I've been doing with the Super Contest, the 2 Super Contests, the Gold and the regular, and the Circa Millions contest, is report on the top 5 plays each week. We call that the consensus of the top 5 selections, the 5 most popular selections. In the Gold contest with 92 entries, it wouldn't be a surprise if we had some ties for the most popular. Well, this week it happens that we had 4 teams tie for the 5th most popular selection. Heading into the week, the consensus was 50, 27, and 3. That was an outstanding winning percentage. But of the 7 plays that comprised the actually, I'm sorry, there were 8 that 4th that tied for the 5th most popular. So 8 selections in the consensus this week. I somehow have it misstated a little bit. The consensus for the year right now, 51, 31, and 3. That's 54.5 out of 85 possible points. That's 64.1%. And as has been the case all season in the Super Contest Gold, that consensus is a very remarkably solid performance. One leader with a record of 52, 30, and 3. That's 53.5 of 85 points, 62.9%. Good enough for a 1/2 point lead over one entry in second place with just 5 selections to go. Of the 92 contestants, 6 are at 60% or more, and that would be just 6.5% of this limited field. Of the selections this week, and I did misstate the consensus results. Not that it's that significant for only 92 fields, but the consensus, the winners last week, the Saints, and 2 of the teams that tied for the 5th most popular, the Bears and the Broncos. The number one selection, the Bills, was a point spread loser, as were the number two selections, the underdog Carolina Panthers, in addition to the Indianapolis Colts, and two of the teams that I don't reflect both of them up there, the Dolphins and Cowboys also. So a little bit misleading, or incorrect, I should say, on that graphic. But the one that we have coming up next, the Super Contest Classic, this one is correct because we didn't have any ties for the most popular selections this week. However, the consensus went just 2-3 this week. That's still 51, 31, and 3 for the season, 52 and a half out of 85 points. That's 61.8%. And as with the Super Contest Gold, that's an outstanding performance for the consensus, which for many, many years was not even at the break even from a betting standpoint with the VIG involved, but actually below 50%. So the last few years they've improved. There's one leader in this contest at 55, 25, and 5 pushes, which is unusually high number. 57 and a half of 85. That's 67.7%. That's good enough for a lead of 1 point over one entry, with again 5 selections remaining to fill out the season. Last week, the two winners were the Saints and the Packers. The three losers, the number 1 and 2 selections of the Rams and Panthers and the Tampa Bay Bucks, also completed those 3 losing picks. 65 of the 1,301 entries are hitting 60% or better. That's 51 or more points. That's 5.0% of the field. That's about 1 out of every 20. And the top 30 in this contest plus ties get paid. Currently, there are 9 contestants tied for actually the final 9 spots, 22 through 30. They have 52 and a half points, and that's good for a 61.8% winning percentage. As I've noted in the past, when the entry field was under 1,000 and in fact under 500, 60% would almost always get you paid. Today, that's not the case this year, and it hasn't been for the last, well, probably much the last decade since the contest really started to expand. Now we turn to the 2 newest contests, major contests, both sponsored by the Circa Race and Sportsbook. The Circa Millions drew a record field this year of 5,274 entries, each at $1,000 per entry. And we report on that consensus. That consensus also struggled this past week. Good week for the books overall, reflected as partly in the results of the consensus in these contests, just 1-4. The lone winner was actually the number 5th most popular selection in the Circa Millions, and that was the Baltimore Ravens with their easy win at home against the Miami Dolphins. Picks 1, 2, 3, and 4 all lost to the point spread. Tampa Bay, the Dallas Cowboys, the LA Rams, and the Carolina Panthers. The contest is by the way, the consensus now 48, 34, and 3 for a 58.2% winning percentage, a little bit below the others. But then again, that's not surprising with over 5,000 entries in this one compared to the 1,300 entries in the Westgate Classic. One leader, 59, 25, and 1. That's 59 and a half out of a possible 85 points. That's exactly a 70.0 winning percentage. And that one contestant leads by 1.5 over one other entry. So there's only a handful of people that have a possibility to catch the leader with 5 selections remaining. Of the 5,274 entries, 297 or 5.6% of the field are hitting 60%. And as far as what it takes to be in cashing position, the Circa Million pays the top 100 plus ties. And ironically, and actually for the second week in a row, the final paying spot currently is at spot 100. 28 are tied for position 73 through 100, and they're currently at 53 points, which is 62.4%. So once again, the larger the field, the greater the number of contestants, not as a percentage necessarily, but as a regular number, just as a number, 62.4%, well above 60% for the season. And finally, we get to the granddaddy contest right now, the Circa Survivor, a $1,000 entry fee. Contestants can get up to 10 entries. And the number did put up to $10,000 for the 10 entries. 9,267 contestants playing for a prize pool of $9,267,000. Prior to last week, through the first 16 weeks of the season, of the 9,267, 9,263 had been eliminated, leaving just 4 contestants alive into week 17. Nobody was eliminated. Everybody had a winning selection, all 4 contestants, leaving just 4 going into the 18th week of the NFL season, the 20th week of the contest season, because they have split weeks, dual weeks for Christmas and Thanksgivings. The value of each entry remains at $2,316,750. There have been reports that the four remaining contestants agreed prior to last Thursday night's Cleveland Jet game, where one of the contestants, in fact, the only contestant who had the Cleveland Browns remaining as a selection, made that selection. And of course, the Browns' easy winner against the Jets, that there has been a chop, and the contestants agreed. I believe the number came out to about 1.8 million for each of those four contestants. That works out to 7.2 million immediately out of the pot, meaning that the remaining four contestants, all of whom advanced, are playing to see who, or if it'll be split up, the remaining $2+ million that remains in the pot. Now, of course, the Circa does not sponsor or have anything to do with the chop or the agreement. They do have lines of credit for those folks who want to do a little bit of hedging over this final week, but the chopping agreement has to be done privately, individually, through lawyers, etc. And nonetheless, it appears as though we have at least four new millionaires as a result of this contest, and they'll probably be left with over $1 million after taxes, fees, etc. are taken out. So that's the wrap up for what happened in week 17. Now, next week, of course, the season will have been over, the regular season, and the wild card round of the playoffs will begin. We'll have a final wrap up to bring you the results of what happened in all of these contests. Congratulate the winners and commiserate with the losers, especially those who came very, very close to cashing and may have fallen a bit short. Last week, again, a tough week. A lot of people to make up ground. Not that many did, but enough did to make week 18 the deciding week in all of these contests. And once again, from Las Vegas, I remind you that if you want a little bit more information about this contest, check out the link right below this video, and you can go to the websites for each of the contests, learn out more. And by the way, I will mention that even though you may not live in Nevada or can get to Las Vegas, there are proxies available where you can come in over the summer before the contest begins, sign up for the contest, and then appoint a proxy to turn in your weekly picks. That's become very popular over the past decade and a half with these contests, and with the success of the Circa Survivor this year at a little over 9,000 entries, I would not be surprised if they have 15,000 entries next year, which would result in a $15 million winner-take-all payday if indeed there is no tie and the contest doesn't go the full 20 weeks. So again, with that, I wish you all a very happy new year, and let's have a wonderful time enjoying week 18 and looking forward to the playoffs.